Hello, hello, and welcome to our Thursday night Q&A with the Healing Humanity Life panel. Today we are missing a few individuals. Actually, we're missing Kerry tonight, right? We're
Mhm.
missing Ashley, and Dr. Nelson usually joins us as well, and he's not here at the moment. He may pop in later. So I wanted to say just welcome to everyone. If you have any questions, carnivore questions, comments, leave those in the chat with a QQQ so we can identify those. But there may not be as many people on this stream tonight. So I think we'll probably be able to find them even without a QQQ. At least I'll do my best to try to find those. And also, we'd love to hear everybody's success stories. So please comment those in the chat. And, we're kind of here to talk about healing humanity, talk about the project, talk about the membership website, Healing Humanity Life, and what we got going on over there and the support and the community that we have over there. So with that, I want to ask Barb and Lynn how you guys are doing.
Doing really great and just, enjoying my new little granddaughter.
Do you have a picture?
About her. I do, but my daughter actually, since this is a live stream and not within our community, my daughter does not want me to show her face on public social media. And so if anybody wants to see her, you got to join Healing Humanity Life. Comes in on some Zoom calls and I get to show her there.
Can you describe her?
She's the most beautiful baby in the world.
Right. There you go. Well, congratulations to both of you, all of you.
Pretty little baby. And she was 6 pounds, 2 ounces, 19 inches. And I brag about my daughter all the time because my daughter had endometriosis. She was not able to conceive until she went carnivore. Her and her husband went carnivore. So this is their little miracle baby. And I'm also bragging about her because she wanted to have a completely natural birth, and she did. Completely drug-free in a birthing center. Amazing job. And she birthed a perfectly healthy, beautiful little baby.
Awesome. How's things going with you, Barb?
And congratulations, Lynn, first of all.
Thank you.
I know you're super excited, and you should be. And Shaylee is a champ.
Yeah.
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a crazy busy week, but everything is really good.
Excellent. So everybody that's watching now, we have screenings going on right now in the works with Healing Humanity. So we have Chicago coming up. That's sold out. And we have Orlando. I do believe in Orlando on Monday. There is still some tickets left. So you can go to the website, healinghumanity.movie, and click on events, and you can get your tickets in Orlando there. And then we've got some more coming up soon. Barb, can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, so we're trying to be strategic and kind of plan a Healing Humanity screening tour. So we're trying to hit some areas that make sense at one time, for instance, Midwest or Texas. So currently working on stringing some screenings together. And so it's a little bit of a logistical challenge, but I think it's going to work out. It's going to be really good. And of course, the goal is to get as many people to be able to see this movie. And this is just such a great way. So we're going to incorporate this tour with the people that have already filled out forms and said they wanted to be screening champions. So anybody that wants to do that, we're going to be looking, hey, who's in the area, pulling those people in. And then if we've got time, we may go to some smaller areas, but our first focus is going to be these major areas just so that we can get that on the screen in as many places as possible.
I love that. So we'll start off with our T-shirt giveaway. If I can figure out how to do this. Kerry's not here. I don't know if I can do it. Okay, there we go. So in the chat, comment #ribeye, and that will enter you for a chance to win a Healing Humanity shirt in the color blue, as you see here. So you can post #ribeye and any comment that you want. We want to hear, what Carnivore has done for you, any questions that you have. Everyone here that's on this panel is a Nutrition Network advisor. A couple of us are metabolic health practitioners. Lynn is very close to obtaining that one, but Lynn is a nurse, so she kind of has a one-up on us. So whatever questions you got, post them in the chat for us, #ribeye for a chance to win the shirt. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, and while we're waiting for questions to come in, I wanted to talk specifically about the breaking addictions section of Healing Humanity. So, Lynn, can you kind of break down like what was the genesis of that, what it actually is, and what somebody could expect when they join Healing Humanity Life, and what would that entail?
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of want to preface it also by making a little bit of a distinction for anyone who's new and unfamiliar, that we have Healing Humanity, which is the big, our main focus, but we have created a membership community called Healing Humanity Life, and it is found at healinghumanity.life. And the purpose of this community is to provide support and to help and educate and to just offer that community environment for everybody that wants to join. But we're definitely, as the documentary gets out and reaches people who are brand new, we are wanting to have something available for them, a community available for them, so that they don't walk away from the movie and just go, okay, now what? It's kind of like, it's just kind of a weird example, but I remember years ago, back when Billy Graham was alive and he used to have all these crusades all over the world. I actually volunteered at one of them because they don't want people who come forward to not have someone to talk to and give them resources to connect with a church in their community. So it's kind of the same concept, right? We want to make sure that we support these people who are influenced, inspired by our movie. So I just wanted to kind of give that overview of this is what we're doing and why we have this community available. And so within the community, we have a lot going on, but one of the things is a group called Breaking Addictions. And it was one of our early members who came to us and was looking for a 12-step program that was kind of more specific to ketogenic and carnivore lifestyles. And we started the group. So we are, to my knowledge, we're pretty much the only carnivore 12-step program in existence out there. And so we have meetings. They are anonymous. So we're not sharing who goes or what the names of. They are anonymous. We stay in keeping with the anonymous guidelines. And I have written a book called Breaking Addictions that goes through the 12 steps, but specifically with the focus on a ketogenic and a carnivore lifestyle. And it's different than Overeaters Anonymous. So a lot of people have gone to Overeaters Anonymous, and it doesn't have a good success rate, to be honest. And it's very, very much about restrictive eating, just calories in, calories out, eat less, exercise more, the same thing that we hear all the time. And that with the carnivore diet, it's not everyone needs to restrict calories. There's people who do because they just don't have an off signal, but a lot of people don't need to. So it has a different focus. Another thing, it's a very compassionate approach. I've been involved in 12-step programs for a lot of years, and I know that a lot of people fall out either on step 4 or step 9 of the program. And because there's a lot of pressure to do all of this really hard self-reflection, that's step 4. But on step 9, there's a lot of pressure to go out and make amends with people. And that is so hard. And so we've structured the program to be much more gentle in the approach. And with those steps, you're still going to do them, but it's much more gentle. And we encourage people to stick with it and go through the steps multiple times. It gets easier the more you do it. So I just really am proud of this program. And I think that as we have more and more people coming into the community from the documentary, it's going to be a really big benefit for people. That was
That's
a long
great.
answer. So.
That was great. So from a practical standpoint, if somebody comes in to become a member, they're like, I really struggle with addiction and I want to join, right? We do have, at the moment, we have 4 calls a week.
Right.
that people could jump into. So maybe we can jump into like maybe what the differences of those meetings are, and also what practically what does it look like? So as they go through these meetings, are they connecting with someone, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So in the traditional 12-step programs, there are people called sponsors. We have just chosen to call them accountability partners. And so we have two types of meetings. We have a step study meeting and we have a fellowship meeting. And so we have two step study meetings and two fellowship meetings a week. And we have one leader who can meet in the morning, and we have another leader who can meet in the evening and kind of afternoon. So we have just a variety of times that they're available. So the step study meeting is where you go through one of the steps in the meeting and guided by the leader. So the leader encourages you to bring a notebook and a pen. There's some like you go through the step, then there's some reflection questions that you go through but yourself, but then you share together. During the fellowship meeting, it is there's the really structured, very similar to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting, in that you do say the Serenity Prayer, and you do you go through the steps as far as just a refresher on the steps. But this is a meeting where there's a lot of sharing, and so the leader will pick a specific topic, and then you don't have to share. But just like anybody who's been involved in 12-step programs, you set a timer, you have a specific amount of time. There is no crosstalk, which is a very much a 12-step rule, meaning when someone else is talking, you just listen. And the value of that is not always apparent to newcomers, but as you go on, you realize how much you glean when you just listen. And then you get your turn and everyone just listens to you. And the goal is not to provide advice. It's literally just to go through and share. And so we find that that's really meaningful for people. And then we just have social time. At the very end, there's some social time where everybody kind of gets to know each other. And during these meetings, if you need an accountability partner, this is where people exchange phone numbers and get set up with an accountability partner.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. I love to be a part of that early on with the Breaking Addictions, but being as it is now with all of the work that I have to do, I don't have time to join in those, but I can't wait to get back to joining in with those. And, looking forward in terms of Healing Humanity Life, we're going to be making some changes coming in the next few months, and it's really going to help really make a more well-rounded offering that we have. We feel like what we have is unique. It's great. It's different than anything else out there. It's more accessible. And it's at least the vibe for me, I call it the Good Vibe Tribe. So, I just love everybody there. And that we're really connected, and we understand each other and what we're going through. And we all really just try to help each other out within that community. So, moving forward, we're looking at some potential big moves in relation to breaking addictions. So, kind of stay tuned for that. I'm sure we'll announce that through the newsletter on healinghumanity.movie if you sign up for the newsletter there. Additionally, any screenings that we have is going to come out in there as well. So there's other things that we're going to be implementing in terms of group coaching soon as well too. So we're waiting until the three of us complete our practitioner course.
I wanted to add one thing about the Breaking Addictions group, and this is going to be really important as we grow and as the movie is out, more and more people are coming in. Anybody who is interested in going through our program, we are looking to train up new leaders. And because part of the 12 steps, if you're familiar with the 12 steps, step 12 has to do with service to others. And so we really encourage people, but we don't let anybody lead a group if they haven't been through the 12 steps themselves. So for anyone who really is like, community is so important, I also want to serve. There's going to be a lot of opportunities, because right now we have two leaders and they're both in the United States. And so we're really hoping that over time we're going to have a global community. So we're going to be looking for people who can be over in Europe, over in Australia, in Africa, in all the Brazil or whatever, all the different places, so that we can meet the needs of people all over the world.
Yeah, I love that. And, one thing that I feel like kind of we make sure that we're taking care of our members in terms of trust. We don't self-certify in our group. We went with a internationally recognized, respected organization. It's a global organization with the Nutrition Network, and as well with the Society of Metabolic Health Practitioners. So everyone that we bring on is either going to be an MHP or an NA or P. So just know that moving forward, and we hope that gives everyone a little bit more confidence in the training, because it is quite a rigorous training that we have to go through in order to be these practitioners. We're just about to the end of our practitioners, so all of us have N and A. We're all going to be it's going to go from an A to a P, but people don't understand how much work went into it to go from that A to P. It's a lot of work. So but we're happy to do it.
For me, the MHP is a few lectures and some paperwork. So, it'll be there on my stream.
Right. Absolutely. So as part of Healing Humanity Live, well, let's get to a couple of comments first. Let's see.
Yeah. And I can't see the live chat. So I don't know if Barb can see. It doesn't look like you can see it either. So we're going to be dependent on you.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. So we got Amanda. She says, hi, Adam,
Hey,
Lynn, and Barb.
Amanda.
How you doing? And we got Steadfast. Howdy from Delaware. How's it going? Jeff's wife. My husband is carnivore and has high triglycerides. What could cause high triglycerides? What do you think, Barb?
So first of all, I would want to know, how long has your husband been carnivore? Because typically carnivore is not going to make your triglycerides go up, but that can be residual from whatever diet you were following before. So I would kind of want to know, how long have you been carnivore, and do you know what your triglyceride number was prior to going carnivore? And again, if you're a new carnivore, it takes a few months for your blood work to settle out. Typically, I would counsel people, don't get your blood work done for at least 6 months, because your body is adjusting and doing strange things, and there's no sense getting alarmed by any of those labs. So, I would say typically no, carnivore does not cause high triglycerides. If you've been carnivore a long time and you're experiencing that, there are a few other things to look at that could potentially cause that. Things like lipotoxicity and some other things where you're very sensitive to fat. But I don't know if you can put in the chat how long he's been carnivore. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, what do you think, Barb? Or Lynn, sorry.
It makes me wonder. Let's just assume he's been carnivore for a while, and until we hear otherwise, it has to do. You can overnourish even on carnivore. If your body is getting more nourishment than you're using, it's going to be storing it. It's going to be converting, you can have more conversion to triglycerides just through like gluconeogenesis. So there's some other pathways that could be happening. And so I would recommend maybe keeping a food diary for a little while and figuring out like how much protein is he getting and how much fat is he getting each day, and maybe do that for a few days. And agree, the lipotoxicity could be the factor. If you're getting too much fat, that could be an issue. And because typically the normal pathway for triglycerides is carbohydrates, because they convert right to sugar, and everything breaks down and you get your triglycerides that form, your cholesterol that forms. And so, but you can actually get that through an alternative pathway as well if you're eating too much protein, or like she said, sometimes it can be too much fat. So people are extra sensitive to the fat. So I definitely would start with a food journal and find out exactly how much of the macronutrients he's eating.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't add much to that. Thank you, ladies. So the only other thing I could really add is that drinking coffee can actually raise your triglycerides by 20 points or more. Some people, it's even higher than that. So I'm not sure if they're drinking coffee or not, but that's just one more thing to take a look at.
Good point. Glad you brought that up.
Let's see. Let's try to rapid fire through these. Grandma's here. She says, I found this one.
Hey.
Lane says, I'm here. Linda McDaniel says, hello from Michigan. What's up? Thomas is here. True Julie Carnivore Health. Hello again. Amanda. We already put that one up. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We can say
howdy from Delaware. It's definitely worth joining Healing Humanity just to see Lynn's granddaughter is absolutely precious.
I agree.
If you weren't convinced to sign up, now you are. Steadfast. Howdy. Hashtag Ribeye. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Lynn.
Thank you.
Hello. Hashtag Ribeye. Grandma says hashtag Ribeye. Thomas, I failed today. I let someone get to me and almost came close to going off carnivore with a cupcake, but my sugar was way too high, so was scared, but almost falling off was a problem for me. Well, brother, you can always send me a message. You can send any of us a message if you're struggling at any point, man, and we can chat and hopefully keep you on the train tracks. But if you do ever fall off, it's just get back on with the next meal, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? And it's amazing too that you're very transparent and you're sharing that was an issue. So, kudos to you for putting it out there, and good that you didn't do it. That's good. But again,
that's right.
If you do, no shame. Just get right back on.
That's right.
Well, yeah, Thomas, I'm going to say you didn't fail. You won. You
That's
didn't
right.
cave in. The fact that you recognize it is a victory.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Rockin' Coach Amy says, hi,
Hey.
Barb, Adam, and Lynn. And Brett, who's your carnivore? Hello,
Hey,
carnivores.
Brett.
How you doing, buddy? Let's see. Okay. Trying to find new ones here. Okay, question. How medical intensive is the Nutrition Network course, and is there information on cost? You ladies have any information on that?
Well, I can share a little bit. I mean, it's expensive. Adam, you could probably talk about the cost portion of it. So there's a portion of it that is fairly intensive. I mean, when I compare it to nursing school, it's not even remotely close to nursing school, but they want you to understand the different organ systems for the most part, and how the problem is the underlying cause is all the same. So they, like, for example, if we have a course on the cardiology, yes, it's cardiac specific, but it really does emphasize how the underlying insulin resistance is the same. There is definitely some science. So if science is new, I don't think for here it is, but for some people, like Adam, it was like a foreign language for you when you first started, because it's like, I don't know these terms, right?
Definitely.
And so I think that for people who don't have any medical terminology in their background, that would be the biggest hump to get over, is just understanding the terminology. I think once you get over that hump, start to see the science part of it. There's so many just underlying similarities in the mechanisms behind what causes disease in the different areas. But that's maybe a few weeks of the program. The beginning of the program is, at least for the cohort, is all coaching. We have different instructors, and we do a lot of coaching exercises and learned coaching concepts. And then we spent 2 weeks with Bitten Johnson talking about addiction. We even at the very end of the course, they spend a little bit of time talking about a coaching business. So somebody who wants to have their own coaching business, they give you some tips and some strategies on setting up your business. So that's the course material. And you do go through prerequisites. So you can pace yourself for the prerequisites, but once you get to the cohort, It is like scheduled. You're there on Zoom calls with a group of people. You get to know each other real well. And there's assignments every week, written assignments every week. And a lot of times they need lots of citations. So it's like going to college and writing a paper.
Yeah. Do you have the ketogenic book on hand right there by chance?
I do.
Okay. I've got it behind me. I just didn't want to get up.
I don't know if it'll show up, but yeah.
So can you show the thickness of it? Now, folks, this is like phone book material. This is the main book that we are using for this course. And there is a specific course, ketogenic, that you can go through that kind of goes through that book. But it's an excellent book. I would highly recommend it for anybody that wants to learn more about metabolic health and the underlying reasons for why all of this stuff is happening, because you're not really going to find that information out in mainstream. So we do have a link that I can share in the chat later to actually purchase these courses. And I do believe that there is a discount. But if you go to nutrition-network.org, you'll be able to find information on all their courses. And there is a lot of courses that they have. And again, this is an international organization. I did a video on my channel where I asked all of the, essentially the carnivore doctors, if somebody wanted to learn this and they are sort of a practitioner now, a nurse or a physician or whatever, and they wanted to learn how to implement low carb, high fat in their practice. And every single one of them said Nutrition Network, all of them. So that's one of the reasons why I chose it and got connected with them. And that's one reason why Healing Humanity has partnered with them as our education partner. So, obviously we can't recommend them high enough. We personally paid for all of the practitioner training that we're going through right now and all of the education and courses. So it's not something that they gave to us in order to, market for them. It's a really, really great program to go through.
Yeah. And one thing I did find interesting is our cohort is 14 people, and they seemed surprised when we first did our introductions as to how many of us were carnivores. It seems like the vast majority of our cohort are already carnivores. There are people who are ketogenic, but I think most of us are carnivores from what I can recall. Do you have a memory, Barb, of what the breakdown is? Or
yeah, I think almost everybody is carnivore that's in the group.
We are, but most are. Yeah.
Yeah. Word's getting around. All right. We got Carnivore Bar in the house. Has anybody tried the new Carnivore bars by chance? What is it? Grain finished ones. What did you think?
I thought they were good.
Yeah. I like them. If it was up to me, as much as I work, I would literally probably only eat carnivore bars, because that way I don't have to go cook, right? That way I can save even more time.
I like the smaller ones. I bought a pack of this little smaller ones because I know the original ones are really large. Like it can be the only thing you eat that day. But they have the pack with the smaller ones, which were to me the perfect size.
Yep. Yeah. I really liked them. I don't know about you, Barb. What did you think? Did you try it?
I didn't get to try the smaller ones. I did have at Meat Stock. I had one of the original ones, but I haven't gotten to try the new ones yet.
And I've only do the one with the basic one with the salt. I don't do any flavors.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So we got Erwin says fellowship meeting. Any Lord of the Rings talk? Just kidding. Yeah, I could talk about that all night long. I've definitely got their Tolkien's books up there. So
one of the we have hangouts, and we haven't talked at all about the hangouts that we have, but it's just literally twice a week Zoom calls where seriously that's all it is. You can hang out, so you're welcome to come and talk about Lord of the Rings all you want.
Absolutely, without being made fun of. Okay, so Nancy says no Kerry tonight.
That's
what do you think, Barb?
Yeah, no, he's not here. So this is your time. We don't talk about him. He's never going to know about
anything to say. Now's the time to say it.
Yeah, now we can talk about him. Just hopefully he doesn't watch this. Let's see. Jeff's wife says, I must have missed a comment.
That's
here we go.
Triglycerides.
It's complicated. It's
Yeah.
complicated. He was keto 10 years, lost a bunch of weight, still high triglycerides, then ate more and more keto. Bread and triglycerides got even higher.
Mm. Okay. So, yeah, I would say, and if it's only a month on strict carnivore, it's definitely too early. I would give it a good solid 6 months and then get it tested again with strict carnivore. And I would be really surprised if you didn't see those triglycerides coming down.
Awesome. Okay, Nancy says, I've been wanting to start carnivore and you guys popped in my feed. LOL. I just joined the community and looking forward to getting healthy. Awesome, Nancy. Yeah, definitely send us all connection requests in there. Feel
Yeah.
free to send us a private message. We're here for you. We have a hangout call tomorrow night with Amy, the Great Steak Escape.
Yep.
And then Sunday with Dante. And then our calls start again on Monday with Breaking Addictions. And then our Q&A on Tuesday, expert Q&A on Wednesday, or Inspire Together on Thursday. So we have roughly 10. So it's only $30 a month. Like, it's, in my opinion, it's a really high value for what you get. We have roughly 40 Zoom calls a month. That's a lot of support. And, you can private message us. You can send messages in the community. You can make connections with like-minded people. So at least from our perspective, we think it's really a lot of value. So welcome to the Good Vibe Tribe, Nancy.
Looking forward to meeting you on our Zoom calls, and the calls where you're going to see their whole team mostly are their Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday calls. And then we have other people that you haven't met yet that are leading, or well, you may have met Dante. Dante Ferrigno leads our Sunday hangout call. And of course, most people know Dante, but yeah, look forward to meeting you. And one of the things that we hear a lot from our members is that, I mean, Adam's not wrong. It is a good vibe tribe for sure. Like, we hear we're very friendly. But also I think that there are some carnivore communities where they're so like rigid, and like they'll get after you if you deviate from what some formula they've come up with. We are not like that at all. We understand that everybody has their path, everybody has their journey, and we're here to provide support and encouragement as you find what's going to work for you and to help you troubleshoot. So, there's going to be no pressure and no guilt there. And we also have courses. So if you're brand new to carnivore, we have a Carnivore Foundations course. We have a couple of amazing courses taught by Coach Lisa that are geared for women. One, Women in Menopause, which is amazing. And we've got a addictions course by one of our members. We've got a bunch of courses there. So it's have a lot to offer.
Okay, so it's time for a giveaway. I forgot. Kerry's not here to remind me, so I need to find out how to do this actually. Okay, giveaway tool, share. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yeah. Do we need a drum roll, or do you have a drum roll?
I don't have a drum roll. So
okay. Try to do a drum roll.
Right, there we go. And the drawing for a Healing Humanity shirt in light blue is Rick Steves -HM4CU. So, Rick Steves, let me stop sharing here. Okay, congratulations. You can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will promptly send you your shirt, probably when he returns from Montana, because I think he might be on his way to Montana right now out at Bella's meetup. So, congratulations. Okay, so next we've got media assets. Okay, sorry, here we go. Okay, we are giving away 1 month free to Healing Humanity Life membership, which is a $30 value. Just post your question or your comment in the chat with #life, and you'll be entered to win, and we'll do that drawing at the end. So again, it's #life. Throw in your comment, your question. Let us know what you've healed on your carnivore journey. We definitely want to hear those comments. So with that, I'll stop sharing that, and we'll get back more into some of the comments. So Lynn, can you kind of expand on what our call is on Thursday nights, the Inspire Together that we just had. What's that all about?
Yeah, we just came off of that call right before this. So Thursday night, the call is called Inspire Together. And this is the call where our whole Healing Humanity team comes on, and it is our call where we get to know our members better. So in this call, unlike our Q&A calls on Tuesday, our expert calls on Wednesday, we want to hear from you guys. We want you to share your stories. We want you to share what's going on in your life. And I know, I have a little bit of background as a high school teacher back in the 90s. And so I love picking on people. I love putting out in the classroom. So no pressure. But anyways, I love to try to draw people out and just engage and let us share our stories with each other. And it really helps. So just like with the Breaking Addictions Fellowship, where everybody's sharing, it really helps to hear what's going on in everyone else's life. And I love the fact that this has helped us get to know people, the people that come regularly. We can ask, like say, I know like what's been going on with them. So I can say, hey, how's this going? And how is, and it's like, we know you. And so I love that call. And I feel like it's a great opportunity for us to be able to really, really connect with our members. So.
Absolutely. And occasionally we do have what we call a Healing Humanity hero join us on Thursday. Basically somebody that we want to recognize, that's a supporter of the project, and just somebody that's in the carnivore community that's doing a lot of good for people. So some of the ones we've had in the past are like Dave Mack and others. Emma, she's doing a lot for the young kids. Yep. So yeah, that's just, we do a lot of fun things. And as time goes on and our team gets bigger, we're going to be offering more in regards to the site there. So, okay, yeah. Let me get back to some of the comments.
We have a break again. I have something else I want to share about our expert calls.
Okay. Okay. Jeff's wife has a question. My daughter had cystic fibroids removed, then UTI, then kidney infection, and now in the hospital with sepsis. Oh no. I want to encourage her to go carnivore. Do you think it might help, Lynn?
Yeah, these are all inflammatory related. So obviously the key right now is she needs the traditional medicine to help her get past this. And so she's going to come out of the hospital exhausted, weak, deconditioned. Sepsis is nothing to, that's serious. So right now, absolutely, she's going to just deal with what they dish out of the hospital. They're there to help her get through this and get out of the hospital and back home. But yes, afterwards, absolutely, because the underlying issue with all of this is inflammation, and a lot of the underlying issues with inflammation has to do with insulin resistance and fuel, the way your body is utilizing fuel. Each cell is suffering when you're not giving it the right fuel. And so giving it carnivore, getting her into nutritional ketosis is going to give her bodies and all those little mitochondria and all of her cells the fuel that it loves so that she can heal. Our bodies want to heal. We just have to get out of the way, get the garbage out, give it the fuel that it needs. So I have no doubt it can help.
That's awesome. Let's see. TTTHC says, any plans for Dr. Nelson to come back on the show? I enjoy his medical expertise. Well, TTTHC, we enjoy Dr. Nelson and his medical expertise too. Sometimes his jokes are a little too pointed in my direction, but that's okay. We still love him.
And he's also one of our experts very frequently on our membership site, where you can face-to-face ask him whatever question you want.
He is. Actually, he's coming up soon. Do you know when that is, Lynn?
Yeah, let me check my calendar.
Rocket Coach Jamie says, I've healed July 8th. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there you go. I've healed my hypothyroidism on carnivore and helped my menopause brain fog.
Yay.
That's amazing. So what has carnivore done for you in regards to your thyroid, Barb?
Oh gosh, yeah, I've got all the autoimmune funness. So I also have some Hashimoto's going on in there among all the other stuff. Yeah, my inflammation in my body is way down. I've been able to go off all my arthritis meds, and so I was never on thyroid medication. I just kind of found that out doing some other labs, but it Carnivore is amazing, and I never thought that I would be able to say that I would be free from all of those nasty biologic and meds and steroids and DMARDs and just all of that yucky stuff. So 2 years and it's been great. Everything's not perfect, but I'm still healing. So I'm just so excited. And I love when people put in the chat what they've healed from, because it's just amazing. Autoimmune issues, respiratory issues, heart issues, mental issues. I mean, it just covers the gamut, and it really speaks to the root of all of that being our nutrition and insulin resistance.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing these stories too. So here's another one. 75 and thriving in Abilene, Texas.
Wonderful.
I love it. Let's see. We've got Jeff's wife again. She says, and what are your thoughts on reverse dieting? My goal is weight loss and I enjoy fasting, but I don't know if I should avoid that. What do you think, Barb?
Well, so if you have spent your life restricting, if you're not eating enough calories right now to nourish your body, if your metabolism is just slowed down because it's used to only having so many calories, say lots of women only eat 1,000 calories, that's not enough food. And so your body is going to just shut down and hang on to that. And so in order to get your metabolism to move, reverse dieting just means that you very gradually add nourishment. So you add a few calories and you do it very slowly. If you do it quickly, it will work, but you're going to see an uptick on the scale, and most people don't like to see that. So I recommend just adding it very slowly, 50 to 100 calories a week, and just gradually getting your body used to getting that extra nourishment. And you would be really surprised what happens when you eat more. Like your body responds, because if you're not eating enough, it's struggling to do all the things it needs to do. It can't repair, it can't heal, and it's certainly not going to let go of extra weight. So I know it's counterintuitive, but don't be afraid to make sure you're nourishing your body. Now, if you don't know where you are, I would encourage you to track for a while. Just see, what are you eating energy-wise, calorie-wise? I know that's a bad word, and calories matter a little bit, but they're not everything. But just to see where you are, and also how much protein and fat you're getting. And then from there, you can gradually add back. And that's something I would recommend, that if you're in a group or you can work with somebody on, that's a great thing to do, just to have somebody help you through that process. Because again, it is frightening, especially if you've spent your whole life trying to lose weight and now you're going to eat more.
Yeah, that's so intelligent. And now you know why Barb is affiliated with Healing Humanity. And this is the level of answers that you're going to get inside of our community. So yeah, thank you, Barb, for that. Let's see. Tom Nina.
Yeah.
Triolo 8085.
I know.
My
Nina.
first healing was inflammation. So that's awesome. I think mine was too. It was the plantar fasciitis. Pain started to go away in 3 days, and it was completely gone in 5 days and hasn't come back. So similar here.
Joint pain was gone in 3 days.
I love it. Okay, Kerry Van has a question for Lynn. How important is it to be in ketosis?
Well, I think it depends on what your goals are and whether you need to be in ketosis constantly or whether it's okay to go in and out. And there's something to be said about metabolic flexibility. And so metabolic flexibility is where you can go in and out of ketosis pretty easily. And that's actually a sign of good metabolic health. Now, babies are born in ketosis. Children are very metabolically flexible. They can go in and out of ketosis up to a certain point until we destroy their metabolism with the food we give them. So I think that when you are trying to heal, I think it's definitely more important to be able to be in ketosis the majority of the time. And especially if you're trying to heal something like an autoimmune disease, or if you have mental health issues or other brain issues, it's important. Or if you have seizures, it's much more important to spend more time in ketosis. So it's kind of a nuanced answer, unfortunately. It just depends on your own individual goals and whether you want to track. Like I've been over 3 years carnivore. I have never once checked my ketones. And so I would do that if I felt like I needed to. So I would be just really wanting to know more about like what your goals are. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What illnesses are you dealing with to determine how much you need to be in ketosis and to what level you need to be in ketosis. But for me, the goal would be to be metabolically flexible, to be able to go in and out. Your body knows when to utilize glucose. Your body knows when to utilize ketones.
Man, great response. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, Carnivore Rich says, Carnivores and Company saying hello from Hartford, Connecticut. How you doing?
Hey.
Okay, another question. A friend brought up she's eating apricot seeds. Cyanide poisoning, potentially? You ladies have any thoughts on this, Barb?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if apricots contain cyanide, but I don't know anything about that specifically. But yuck! Why would you want to eat those seeds?
Well, there's a little bit of a fad, and I don't know if it's recent or if it's been around for a while, of people who are eating apricot seeds. And I see it as very controversial because they are known to be toxic and poisonous. So I don't know enough about it to comment. I just happen to know that it's a thing. I would never recommend it to anybody. When it comes to toxins, and we know, and if you listen to Dr. Chafee's lecture, Plants Are Trying to Kill You, with fruit, the seeds of fruit are the most toxic part of fruit. And so when it comes to fruit seeds, the goal is for the animal to ingest the fruit or the berry or whatever and be okay consuming the flesh, but then to poop the seed out elsewhere so that it can root and grow someplace else. That's how they spread their seeds. And so they don't want the animals eating the seeds from the standpoint of chewing them up. They're very indigestible. They want them to go straight through. And so if an animal is actually chewing and eating that seed, it's not going to accomplish that. That seed has to be intact. So that seed carries a lot of toxins in it. And so I just kind of think about how happens in nature, and as a guideline for me of whether I feel comfortable or not with something like that. And so just based on what I know about the process of spreading those seeds, and I would never do it.
No, it almost seems like you'd have to grind them up. Aren't those like really hard?
Yeah, put them through a certain processing. And I don't know if people develop some sort of a tolerance, because I know you can develop some sort of a tolerance to toxins to the point where they don't acutely harm you, but it doesn't mean they're not harming you.
Right.
No.
Okay. Rockin' Coach Amy has a question for Lynn. So, I'm not going to comment on this one, Lynn. Hint, hint.
Yes. Did you teach about him? Oh, yeah. No, Adam has been constantly, well, not constantly.
As much as I can.
Yes. Of course, he keeps throwing more and more work on my plate. And so I'm supposed to be putting together a course on histamine, which would include MCAS. But teaching about MCAS in the community and every opportunity I get, because of course I have MCAS. And if you are in our community and you want to ask questions about MCAS, absolutely. Going about testing can be a real challenge because the testing is changing over the course of time. So it used to be that the doctors would have you submit a serum tryptase test and a 24-hour urine collection while you're in an acute flare. I can attest firsthand how difficult that is. Because for me, an acute flare often meant going to the ER, and very often the doctor there was not like, oh yeah, we're going to do MCAS testing. So even when I had an order from the doctor, it was up to me when I felt like I was in an acute flare to go get the test done. And now we know that not everybody with MCAS has an elevated tryptase. And so the tryptase test is not that, it's not a definitive thing for the diagnosis as well. So things have changed. They do want to know, the doctors do want to know that your symptoms respond to antihistamines, both H1 and H2 blockers. So if you want to start doing your own work, is ask, these medications are over the counter. And so even though I'm not telling you what to do, when it comes to over-counter medications, the FDA in the US has deemed that they are safe for you to decide if you want to take them according to the package directions. And so I'm just going to give you the information, not medical advice, that one of the things the doctor will want to know is whether or not your symptoms improve when you take an H1 and an H2 blocker. So an H1 blocker is the one that's mostly for respiratory issues like allergies, like Zyrtec and Claritin, and those that I wouldn't do Benadryl. It's very sedating. I go with a non-sedating one. And an H2 blocker is like Pepcid. Generic is famotidine. And so you have a lot of histamine receptors over your whole body. But I would say also, if you want to learn more about MCAS and histamine intolerance, both, you can definitely go to my channel and watch my histamine video on Midlife Carnivore. And yes, Adam, I will be getting the histamine course done at some point. You just got to quit piling more on my plate.
Well, I mean, AI is so good now.
I don't want to do it with AI.
You could give it the, like just create a foundation, and then you fill in the specifics. But yeah, you could get half of the boring work done with the AI, right?
I've already done that. And
okay,
I'm just old school. Like I love AI, but I also love when real people do it themselves. And I'm just like picky that way. And I'm a perfectionist. Like I don't necessarily trust AI all the way. So
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously there'd be review, but how old school are you? Like stone tablet and a chisel, or like how long is this going to take?
Not that cool.
Not that long.
Yeah.
Okay, so
available to answer questions on our membership site.
Awesome. Okay, so Christina has a comment here. She gets cramps when she does a fasting window of 16, I'm assuming hours and up, and it bothers her. So do you kind of have any recommendations here, Barb, if she does want to continue doing that, but maybe not have the cramps?
Yeah, the first thing that makes me think of is hydration and electrolyte status. Are you making sure you're drinking enough and getting those electrolytes, especially the magnesium is implicated a lot in cramps, but the sodium and potassium and all of that balance is important too. That would be my first thought. And then I don't know if you have gradually ramped up to doing a 16-hour window. It may be that you might want to slide that back a little bit if it's been somewhat of a sudden increase. And if you're not tolerating it well, then I would consider dropping your fasting window back. And then also just kind of stepping back and saying, what are you hoping to accomplish with fasting and what are your goals? And, not everyone does well with fasting, and it's hard, and it is good for us, but it's a stress. It's a hormetic stress, but it is a stress. So sometimes that's too much for our body. So that's what I would say, check the electrolytes and then maybe consider tapering that window back a little bit and seeing how you feel.
That's great. Okay. Okay, Marnie's random stuff. I went keto in 2018, then carnivore in 2021. Fibromyalgia, IBS, migraines, hypothyroidism, joint pain, and hypertension gone. 63 and feel way younger than my peers. It's weird being the same age as old people.
Love that.
I love
That's
that comment.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love the fact too that it's migraines because we do get questions from people a lot about migraines, and it's all same underlying issues. It's amazing all these things that it can heal.
hmm Okay, Rockin' Coach Amy says her mom eats almonds because they contain cyanide intentionally to prevent cancer. That's interesting. I think I have heard that.
There's a
I
reason.
think, yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard people doing that with apple seeds too, or something.
Yeah. There's a reason why people do it. You know, of course you can also prevent cancer by not feeding it the fuel that it wants. And glucose is a good place to start. The excess sugar.
Yep. Amy says, I don't feel like I'm acute to go to the ER, but acute enough to not be able to move around because of pain. I already take Zyrtec. Thank you, Lynn. I would check that out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So,
H1 blocker just to cover bases.
so I think that
Or sorry,
Amazon, or I'm sorry, not Amazon,
Right.
but YouTube is. I think YouTube is doing a little shadow banning of Lynn's channel because I think I personally have recommended your histamine video 10,000 times, and that video doesn't have 10,000 views yet. So I'm wondering like what is going on. But yeah, it's if people go back and watch that video too, they're going to be like, who is this person?
Who is this person? Why is this telling me what to do?
It's such a good video and a really good breakdown. And there's a lot of practical steps in there that people can take to make sure that they are not eating foods that are high in histamine, even though they're eating a carnivore diet. So before I even knew about histamine, I felt like I sort of had an issue with consuming foods that had more of a worse effect on me while eating a carnivore diet. And then after you're watching your video, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay away from this, but this is okay. I'm staying away from this. This is okay. And things they got better for me. So
yeah, my video is specifically focused on low histamine carnivore diet and all the little things you can end up getting that you don't realize necessarily are higher in histamine on a carnivore diet.
So in terms of the histamine, and I know we're probably going to run over a little bit here, do you feel like histamine issues is a genetic issue, or it's maybe more of a result of the damage that we've done to our mitochondria and our health, over the decades that's potentially causing this issue, or maybe a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. There are definitely people who have specific genetic variants that don't necessarily express, but they can express because of lifestyle. So for example, I have the genetic variant that means that I have a slow DAO enzyme, and that's the enzyme that breaks down histamine in the body. So for me, that enzyme is expressed, and I'm sure it's because of stress and other toxins and other factors, because it wasn't born with it expressed. So my body does not break down histamine well. So I have to factor that in. I also do have mast cell activation syndrome, which I do believe was triggered environmentally, but I also have a condition called hereditary alpha tryptosemia, which I was born with. And my mast cells, when they do degranulate and spew out their chemicals, they spew out extra copies of tryptase, which causes specific symptoms. So, but the fact is that there's so much environmental and lifestyle that plays a role. And when your mast cells are born into, and the mast cells, they regenerate just like your red blood cells, just like so many cells of your body. When they are reborn, new ones are born into a toxic and unsafe environment, they're going to be more reactive for someone with mast cell activation syndrome. And so that environment isn't always food. It could be the air, it could be the water you drink, it could be your sleep quality, it could be your stress, it could be your mindset, to use Adam's favorite word. mindset could be a problem. If you're constantly in a negative mindset, that could impact the environment that your new mast cells are born into. So you could have mold toxicity, which I do. I've got mycotoxins, I've got lead toxicity. So there's so many factors, and it's a matter of learning for each individual what the factors are for you.
That's a great answer. So just to add more confusion to this or more discussion topics that maybe we can get into in the coming weeks, but reading the book Super Gut from Dr. William Davis, he specifically talks about histamine quite a bit in this book. And he talks about the bugs, the bacteria and fungi that could be populated within your gut that actually help in the process of breaking down histamine. So that could be another thing that's out of balance in you, that you don't have these beneficial microbes that help in that process.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Okay, let's do a giveaway, right?
Yay.
Share screen. Giveaway tool. Share. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Okay.
For a 1-month membership to healinghumanity.life. Carnivore Junkie. All right. Awesome. So Carnivore Junkie, you can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. Fill out the form, and Lynn will promptly send you your code for 1 month of free access. Congratulations. So with that, we've reached the end of the live stream. Lynn, do you have anything that you want to share, or Barb?
Well, I wanted to add one more thing about our expert calls that I just wanted to kind of slide in there for people.
Sure.
So we love our carnivore doctors that we interviewed for the documentary, and we interviewed pretty much all the big names, right? But one thing and we have had them, most of them, on as experts on our calls. But I just am excited about the fact that we also have a lot of doctors and different experts that you're not going to really necessarily find easily. We have some that have no social media presence, and the only place you're going to find them is with us. And we have those who are from different countries and less well known. And I love the fact that we can provide a variety of perspectives from a variety of different doctors and health practitioners that you may not necessarily be even familiar with. And so I just wanted to kind of put that in as a plug, because yes, everybody loves the big doctors, but honestly, you can go to their channel and you can pretty much learn anything you want from them. And so I love the fact that we have some doctors that if you want to learn from them, you can come and learn from them through us.
That's a good point, because a lot of the ones that we bring in, they may not have, millions of followers on social media, but these are very highly respected people in this metabolic health space. And some of them, like board members of some of these large institutions. So very, very, very knowledgeable people that are going to be able to get you some really, really good answers to your questions. So
and still practicing, very actively practicing, which is good. Yeah.
Yep. Barb, do you have anything to add?
I would just say that, with all the good things that we talked about, the Healing Humanity community, it's just a lot of fun. I mean, I just really enjoy going on the calls and being in the community and just getting to know the people, and we laugh and celebrate things together, and you can share. And it's very comfortable and open. So I would just encourage anybody to try it out. I mean,
sometimes we cry. Sometimes we cry.
Sometimes, but not often.
Good tears, happy tears.
Yeah. And of course, everybody can see the three of us there in that community. Kerry is also there. If you'd like to connect with Kerry and send him a private message, he enjoys those and quite frequently answers a lot of those. So definitely encourage everybody to check it out. healinghumanity.life. We're going through a transition of making things better over the next few months. So stay tuned with that, our current members and the ones that are to come. So with that, we will sign off until next week.
All right.
Bye for now.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.